Hello and welcome to another F1 2019 video. Now recently I did a couple of 25% races on this game on a stream that Tom Matthews was doing, and the races were very entertaining. We did them at Hungary and Singapore. We had AIs in the race as well, which made it a bit more interesting racing wise, and the racing was excellent. This video is obviously those two races, so enjoy. So this is qualifying at Hungary. All the car performance is equal. I decided to drive the Ferrari along with that Scotty guy, which means that we christened the team that Ferrari team when we were driving in it. Now this is my real pace, absolutely not sped up in one bit, and ignore the slight high pitched noises. I don't quite know why that was going on. I think it's just the car was going so fast, it's just got really high pitched, and there we go, we're done 1:17.5, which turned out to be the quickest lap in qualifying. No surprise really, my car went into hyperspeed, just pipping Zach's B22. He did a 1:17.6 and my 9's21, I think I said 1:17.7, as we watched a Red Bull go backwards at the end of qualifying there.
Remember, brakes and tyres will be cold at the start, so take it easy on the first few corners.
We will try to do that indeed. We will hopefully just get a nice easy couple of corners, stay out of trouble, and lead the race from there. That at least is the plan anyway. Now you see here us going to finish the formation lap, and about pretty much nearly all of the grid is stopped because there was many collisions on the formation lap. Anyway, 5 red lights are on, holding us for a very long time at the start line, and they're finally out. We get a pretty good start up against Zach's speed. Perez, who I believe started 4th or 3rd, gets a very good launch, obviously AI. We hurtle down to turn 1, braking nicely there, giving space in case anyone wants to make a dive, and Zach's speed does indeed do that. Really whacks into the side of my Ferrari, which I was not expecting. I believe he might have even spun around, because there is now a big gap back from 2nd place. So overall, not too bad of a first lap. We get fastest lap obviously on lap 1, which stayed relatively out of trouble. Now this is lap 4, going through the long right-hander up the hill. I get my right wheels on the curb and go sideways. That won't help tyre wear.
The gap behind us is 2.7 seconds. They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 5 laps old. The time last lap was a 1:21.1.
Just me asking about the person who is now in 2nd place, as you can see, Almighty Jeff on mediums. Now what makes this confusing, especially for me from a commentating standpoint, is there's 2 Almighty Jeffs in these races. One that is in 2nd place, and one, I'm not sure what position he was in, but the one that isn't in 2nd place is Tom Matthews, the one who was hosting this stream. So yeah, that's going to make this very confusing from a commentating point of view. But as you can see, we pitted for medium tyres because my softs were really starting to go off a bit. I was sent a bit of a slide, but now I've got to try and catch back up, get good lap times so I can catch back up to the fake Almighty Jeff and Barrel Set, who both started on mediums, as you can see now. On lap 8 I'm in 3rd, and they do have quite a gap to me. I think it's something like 16 seconds or so. However, I do have a good gap back to 4th.
They're on old mediums. Their tyres are 9 laps old. The time last lap was a 1:20.7.
So obviously now at this point, because the 2 guys in front of me have been on their mediums since the beginning of this race, and I've only just put mine on, the lap times are going to be a bit quicker for me. And well, sure enough, a couple of laps later, they're both pitting for soft tyres. Now I managed to get a good gap in front of them. However, this is still a bit of a worry because I am now on older medium tyres. They're now on brand new soft tyres, so they will be able to catch up. And within about a lap, the fake Almighty Jeff in the Haas car has indeed caught up to me as we get to the chicane, and this is the point of the race where I started looking behind me quite a lot, which maybe isn't the smartest of ideas. But yeah, I had to try and make sure he didn't catch up too much. However, he gets the fastest lap, 1:18.8, which is miles quicker than what I've done so far this race. He does, I believe, have DRS and probably some slipstream as well, but doesn't make a dive into turn 1. He's just not close enough. So thankfully he doesn't make a massive dive bomb and send me flying off at turn 1, a bit like what happened in the first lap. Anyways, we continue on this lap further on. Obviously we're at the chicane now, and he's right up behind me, much closer than he was last lap, and getting a bit of a slide at the chicane. My mediums are starting to go off a bit, so I am really racing on the back foot now, as I am on worn medium tyres. He's on pretty much brand new softs. So yeah, I was getting quite worried at this point. Anyway, start finish straight now, leading on to lap 15. However, I get a feeling I'm not going to be leading for much longer as I go defensive into turn 1. He has the DRS, tries to go round outside, doesn't make it work, tries to get the cutback. When he exits turn 1, he has a good run, and he makes it work. Side by side, touching side paws a little bit, I make a dive into turn 2 here, and just get ahead of him, and into the long, fast right-hander, not really long, fast right-hander, around the outside once again, so fantastic little battle there for first place. But the battle is far from over, as we still lead into lap 16. We have a couple of laps left now, 3 laps left, and he's closer than ever. He gets just in front of my Ferrari into turn 1, but I managed to send it back up the inside. I am now on the inside on the exit of turn 1, and actually get a decent run, better than I thought I would, but he's still just about alongside as we pull into turn 2. I give him the space on the inside of the corner. We're still side by side. It's slightly reversed of what happened last lap actually, but he actually manages to swoop around my outside and get first place for the first time in a little while since he put his softs on. However, he gets a massive slide as we go up the hill. Amazingly saved it there. I actually got a bit of a slide as well, but he was a bit more compromised from there, touching the grass a little bit into the kind of final complex of the track, and I'm still actually surprisingly on his gearbox, really close to the Haas, which I was not expecting. I was expecting, obviously, because he's on newer, softer tyres, he'd be able to just run away with it, but that was not the case. I was able to catch him and stay with him. I'm very close as we head into the penultimate lap now, and I'm able to overtake him fairly easily before turn 1. He does not make a dive into turn 1. Jeff was happy with that move, which is great, and I get the DRS as we head down to turn 2, so that is always a bonus as well. But yeah, that was a fantastic little battle for P1. Now, as we head onto the final lap of this Hungarian Grand Prix, 25%, he is still behind me, and he's actually got quite a gap. He's still got the DRS because he is still within a second of me. I managed to hold on to P1 for the rest of that lap. However, as you come up the hill over the left right hander, what am I on about? Anyway, the Haas is right up behind me, much closer than he was on the start-finish straight on this lap, so I was thinking he's going to get me into the final sector of the track. He's got a big slide actually out the chicane, must have bobbled over the curb slightly. I managed to keep ahead of the Haas and still have a decent gap to it, but I was still very worried at this point. But as we round the penultimate corner on this track, as I get a bit of a slide actually around there, the Haas is too far back to make a move into the final corner, and the Haas actually makes a mistake on the final corner and lends P2 to the McLaren. I'm not entirely sure why. I believe the driver said that he got distracted by his phone or something like that, but he actually grabs P2 back from Barrelset, as Barrelset, I believe, must have had multiple penalties. But we managed to finally get first in the end. Quite a stressful race. I was definitely racing on the back foot for a lot of that, but yeah, very much enjoyed that one. So here we are for the second race, the Singapore race, as we start qualifying. Once again, just one-shot qualifying. This is a track I'm not entirely too confident with, however, I do actually like it as a track. Of the street tracks on the calendar, it's probably one of my favourite. However, I do, as a hot lapping track, I do prefer Monaco, but this track is nicer to overtake on. As we cut to the final corner already, I don't quite set the fastest lap. That fastest lap is set by the fake Almighty Jeff, by the way. the Almighty Jeff I was racing last race at Hungary, and he just beats me to the line there, as we see a Toro Rosso going backwards this time.
Okay, your race will be compromised if you're too aggressive into turn 1. We need to stay out of trouble today.
Once again, I'm going to try and stay out of trouble, but stay out of trouble multiple people haven't done on the formation lap, as you can see. Once again, pretty much the entire grid stopped as they were disqualified from the formation lap. But here we go, 5 red lights, and they're already out, as we see a McLaren slightly jump the start at the back there. It's a decent start for me, as I tried to make a move on the Haas up the inside, but it's not really a big enough braking zone from the start line to really do anything there, as we have a Williams of Zach Speed following behind us, and the Haas of Almighty Jeff, the fake one, in front of us. What makes it even more confusing is the real Almighty Jeff is also driving a Haas, and we do see both Almighty Jeffs in one shot in this video later on. Anyway, we're following the Haas down to turn whatever this is, the big straight where DRS would usually be. Obviously we won't have DRS on lap 1. Hopefully we haven't been involved in any accidents. We've stayed out of trouble, we've taken Jeff's advice and gone with it. And as we run to finish, The first lap, Zach has been overtaken by Barrelset. Not entirely sure what happened to Zach as we run very wide at the last corner. Barrelset is right underneath my Ferrari's wing as we head into turn 1. I'd go kind of accidentally defensive, I wasn't really sure he was, or I didn't really know he was that close into turn 1, so apologies for that one. Quite aggressive defending there, but he is right up behind my, my Ferrari now, as we try and follow the Haas into the main straight, but the McLaren almost gets the run on us, and he's going to have the slipstream down to the big braking zone here. He's got the run off of the corner there, and it just accidentally squeezed him. I'm being kind of accidentally aggressive here as he makes a move. Very, very nice and cleanly done there, no contact, and that is us down to P3 from P2, and bear in mind he's starting on mediums as well, so that is quite worrying for me because he is theoretically on the worst tyre. Skipping along to lap 3 now, DRS is obviously now enabled. Barrelset is looking to make a move up the inside of the fake Almighty Jeff in the Haas, and he does indeed do that. He copies the move he did on me, only I break himself a little bit. I don't quite catch the Haas in time to be able to make a move, so I'm stuck behind it for a few more corners. Possibly even a few more laps due to the nature of this track being tricky to overtake in some places. However, the Haas unfortunately goes wide there, and I'm able to pull alongside as we head into this sector here, and that's quite an unconventional overtaking move, but we've managed to actually get it done. Just plant the accelerator down as we head towards the hairpin underneath a tunnel-ish kind of thing. It's not really a tunnel, kind of more an arch. Ignore my horrible commentating skills, but yeah, we eventually managed to get P2 back from the Haas there. As I headed onto lap 4, I was noticing my soft tyres were starting to go off a little bit, as Almighty Jeff, the fake one in the Haas, does actually box for a new set of tyres. And yeah, as I say, these soft tyres were kind of starting to go off. I was planning to lap on lap 5, and I thought I'd be able to make it there fairly okay. I was sliding on a little bit, but that wasn't really too much cause for worry, I guess. But really, it should have been, as what happened on this final corner almost ended my race. I go in at my normal line, at my normal speed, and I have a massive spin there. Thankfully, I just managed to end up facing the entry of the pit lane, so I just spin my car around and quite cleanly get into the pit lane and fit a new set of mediums as we head on to lap 5 now, and the Haas manages to get past me as I had my spin, so I've got some ground to make up now after that. I guess it really wouldn't be one of my videos if I didn't spin it or crash it at any point in the video, but it was kind of lucky the way that I ended up facing the pit lane and I was able to just get a new set of tyres nicely. Anyway, here we're catching up on a battle with Almighty Jeff and Scotty. Scotty locks up and goes wide, which lets the fake Almighty Jeff pass. Thankfully, Scotty just moves to the right and lets me pass as well, as he hasn't actually pitted yet on his soft tyres that he's been on since the beginning of the race. So this means that now I can go back on the charge and try and catch the Haas as we go down to the big braking zone with the RS. Try to make it around the outside and can't quite keep my Ferrari alongside. This is a tricky corner to make anything work. That's kind of really a one-line corner. So once again, I'm forced to look at the back of the Haas. He doesn't go wide here, so I can't make a move into the corner down here like I did a few laps ago. Once again, I've got the DRS, but I'm not quite close enough there. This was getting slightly frustrating, as if I hadn't had that spin, I probably would be in front of the Haas. But no, obviously I had the curse of being in a Ferrari, and that led me to spin a couple laps ago, so I have, yeah, lost a decent amount of time there. Anyway, this is the battle that I was talking about at the start of this race with the two Almighty Jeffs. The Almighty Jeff you currently see ahead in the Haas is the real Tom Matthews, the real Almighty Jeff. The one you see behind is the fake one that I've been racing all race, and the previous one. The fake one goes up the inside of the real one and makes a nice move there. I'm a bit hesitant to make a move, and actually I break myself a little bit, but as the real one outbraked himself, I managed to make a nice and clean move there. Here's a replay from his view.
Break myself.
That is possibly one of the most confusing overtakes I've ever had to commentate on for one of my videos. Anyway, we move into P3 now as we overtake Barrelset, who we were racing earlier on in this race. If you remember, he's now gone onto a set of softs after he started on a set of mediums. So it's a similar scenario to the first race in a way, because he's now on a brand new set of softs. I'm on an older set of mediums, and I'm trying to catch this Haas, and it's a kind of a three-way battle for what is kind of first place in this race now. As I think that was Lewis Hamilton in the Mercedes diving into the pit lane there, as Barrelset and the McLaren taking a very aggressive line around the last corner, but it seemed to work for him because he's right up behind my Ferrari and he makes a bit of an aggressive move going quite wide into turn 1 as well. I had to get out of his way a little bit, as here is some team radio.
They're on fresh softs. Their tyres are 1 lap old. The time last lap was a lap.
So this really, for me, is flip the race entirely on its head, because Barrelset has a massive penalty of 6 seconds. Well, it's not massive, but it is quite a sizable penalty compared to mine, as I have no penalties whatsoever. So really all I need to do now is just stick within 6 seconds of him. But that could be easier said than done, as you can see there, he sets the fastest lap of the race as he's now gotten past myself in the Haas. I make a move down the inside of the fake Almighty Jeff at turn 1 and get past him. Now really my aim here is, again, to stay within 6 seconds of Barrelset and McLaren, and not to fight with the fake Almighty Jeff too much in the Haas. But my plan might not go as smoothly as I want it to, as the Haas driver also wants to win this race, obviously, as he gets a very good run off of the last corner. I'm not being very good with that last corner of this race. As the Haas tries to go around my outside at turn 1 and just makes the move work around the outside, just squeezing around the outside of my Ferrari there. However, obviously I'm not going to give up that easily, and we are still right behind the Haas as we head into the big DRS zone here. We've got DRS, good slipstream now as we head towards the big braking zone, where we've made many overtakes so far this race. We pull alongside as we head into the braking zone. We're actually a bit ahead of him now, and we make a good move there. And he actually tries to get the cutback on the exit of the corners. We go too wide into this corner here, but as I've said previously in this video, too wide around that corner doesn't quite work, but he's still alongside. Amazingly managed to keep it around the outside. Sorry for the slight lag in quite a bad place, but I eventually managed to overtake the Haas and break the too wide there. So anyway, moving on to the penultimate lap now, and as you can see, Barrelset has actually spun at the final corner, a bit like what I did near the beginning of this race. He must have problems with his tyres going off, a bit like I did about 10 laps ago, I believe it was now, and we are well within 6 seconds now. I believe we're actually losing him a bit, and if he hadn't had that spin, if he hadn't have spun, then he definitely, I reckon he could have won this race. But we are right up the back of the McLaren now, and we could even win on track at this rate in the Ferrari. Yeah, I'm adamant to at least try and win on track, as winning through penalties is a bit boring, as he has another spin. That was a big spin, even worse than the one I had at the beginning of the race, so I shake my steering wheel in excitement there. You can see there, so yeah, unfortunate for Barrelset. He could well have done a lot better there. May well have even won it had he not had either of those spins, as we come through to win this 25% race. The race looked like it wasn't going to be won by me, as myself and the fake Almighty Jeff were battling a lot at the end of that race, having a lot of side-by-side moments, which was compromising the both of us. However, thanks to Barrelset's unfortunate spins, he doesn't actually get a podium as well. Thanks to his podiums, he gets bumped down to 4th position, his third taken away by Lewis Hamilton. So quite an unfortunate final few laps for Barrelset, but we managed to take the win in that Singapore Grand Prix. So there you go, 2 exciting races I had on F1 2019 multiplayer at Singapore and Hungary, as we managed to win both of them. But yeah, that is it for this video. I do hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. I think this will likely be my last video on the F1 2019 game. I would like to make more videos on the F1 2020 game, as I haven't really made much on this game, but videos like this are very fun to make, as you can have some excellent racing in both single player and, as I've proved today, multiplayer. But until the next video, goodbye.